I've never heard this song before. Maybe there are different songs. Oh, we're getting new art here. Okay, everyone. This is a different song. I like this. Okay, everyone. Excuse me. Let me actually change this. Side story. EDLC plus side stories. Alright, Monica. The literature club is starting. Let's all have a seat and take attendance, okay? I missed debate club. Who knew it would be so difficult to start a new club? I feel worse with every day that passes without anyone coming in. I'm really starting to lose confidence. Monica is the only member of the literature club. In the days that have passed, all of our efforts to recruit new members have been fruitless. Am I going about this wrong? Monica glances at one of her flyers. The headline is, "Do you like literature?" Maybe nobody is into literature enough to pick it over their other club interests. I can't just rely on people liking literature. I need to sell them on a vision. A vision. That's right, President Monica. But what kind of vision? Monica rests her head on the desk, deep in thought. But before she realized it, the recent nights of staying up too late start to catch up to her. It's so quiet, and the noise of the air conditioning is soothing. Conditioner. Like conditioning. Hello? Oh, who's that flash? Suddenly a voice causes Monica to snap awake. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I never do this. Is this the napping club? No, this is... Monica pauses suddenly, embarrassed to admit that this is, in fact, the literature club. This is the literature club. Yay, I thought I got it wrong for a sec. I'm super sorry, it was like so unprofessional of me to do that. Don't apologize, I do that all the time. Oh. Did I miss the club meeting? Where's everybody? Well, about that, this is everybody. Really? Just you? But we're getting more members, I'm working really hard on it. Hold on a sec. If it's just you, that means I get to be vice president. Ah, so that's how she became vice president. Wait, vice president? What are your qualifications? Well, I'm better at napping than you. Maybe I should be president. Now you're just making fun of me. Oh, I'm sorry. What was your name? Sayuri. Okay, Sayuri. I've been trying really hard on this club. I know you caught me at a weird time, but it's really disheartening to not be taken seriously, you know? I care so much about this. I just want to find other people who do too. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I do care, I promise. I have a hard time being serious, that's all. I didn't mean for it to hurt you. And I was just joking about the vice president thing too. I would make a terrible vice president. I mean, I'm sure that Monica tries to say something reassuring, but it's difficult when she still doesn't know much about Sayuri. I'm sorry that this isn't like a real club yet. Would you still be interested in joining after I found a few more members at least? Well, no, I want to join now. Really? Yeah, it sounds a lot of fun. Besides, I can tell how hard you've been working. You're doing something amazing and you should be proud of it, you know? So let me help you turn something stressful into something fun. If nothing else, I'm good at that, so... Honestly, how could I possibly say no to that? That's really sweet of you, Sayuri. Oh, I'm Monica, by the way. Monica, that's such a cool name. Oh, now you're just trying to cheer me up. But you're smiling. Well, I didn't say it didn't work. Monica glances at the flyer on the desk and realizes that her name is already written on it. So, what do we do first? Well, it's getting pretty late, isn't it? We can go home and try to come up with some new ideas to recruit club members. I can do that. Cool. And I think I need to put some more thought into my vision for the club. You know, like a mission. My mission is to make everyone happy. Haha. Yeah, something like that. I need to think about it. Hey, do you like hugs? I guess so. Suddenly Sayuri suddenly pulls Monica into a friendly hug, then let's go. Some people can just really use a hug sometimes. Besides, hug energy is what keeps me at my best. Haha, hug energy? Monika laughs. Although Sayuri is very different from her, Monika feels her spirits lifted. Maybe it's just because she finally found another club member. But, well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow then. It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna think really hard tonight about how to get more people. Yeah, me too. So it's really interesting how she says that she, wants to give people hugs to give her more energy. It makes more sense about that poem she wrote about her like pulling out the scalp and giving bottles of happiness to people. So you could tell, this kind of shows that that's what that poem meant to that Sayuri poem. A day passes and time comes for the literature club, Monika and Sayuri, to reconvene. As president, Monika ensures that she's the first to arrive to the club room. But she finds herself waiting longer than expected for Sayuri. It's been 10 minutes already. Maybe Sayuri changed her mind about joining. No, that can't be. She was so excited yesterday. But I'm getting kind of worried. Suddenly, Sayuri comes bounding through the door. In her hand, she's holding a sheet of paper. Sorry, I'm late. I'm here. It's okay, welcome back. And Sayuri spins over to Monika and deposits the sheet into Monika's desk. Oh, what is this? We got a poem! We actually get poems in this. Take my hand. Take my hand, take me forward. Take me to your dreamland. Caution me to watch my step so I can't look back at my footprints. Climb the stairs ahead of me while I look up to you. The more I look forward, the more I look up, the more I can lend to you. If you can trust me following your pace, I'll trust you to set it. If you can trust me to lend you a smile, I'll trust you to return it. Take my hand, take me forward, take me to your dreamland. Interesting. Hey, this is really good. You wrote it, Sayuri? Of course. Wait, no, that's the wrong side of the paper. Huh? I wasn't ready to share that yet. I'm so embarrassed. Monika flips over the paper. Written on the other side is a list of ideas recruiting new members. Oh, so this is what you want to show me. But I'm curious now, do you write poetry often? I do, but I'm sure not anywhere near as good at it as you are. Really? I'm actually terrible at writing poetry. I've never written anything I was happy with. Like, I always read it again a week after I write it, and I'm like, wow, this is stupid. I don't know. It's like the dramatic version of me doesn't agree with the person I want myself to be, or something like that. No. You should have more confidence in yourself. You're a literature club president. I guess you're not wrong there. I need to, set a good example or whatever. I can envision the club doing something like that. Doing what? Like sharing poems you write and stuff like that? Yeah. I would love that. Such a good way to learn about other people, It's like we have so many emotions that we can't express to other people usually. But you can when it's in a poem, right? Yeah. I think that's helping me form a more cohesive vision for the club. I'm so glad you showed me. Well, even though it was by accident. Me too. I felt embarrassed at it first, but now it feels kind of good that someone else read it. I'll try to show you more of them in the future. I love that. Oh geez, I'm getting distracted. Do you want to go over the recruitment brainstorm together? I brainstormed so hard. It's like a brain hurricane. My brain is a natural disaster. I love that face. Look at that. That is such a cute face. Sayuri, that's terrible. Anyway, let's take a look at the list. Make cupcakes. I was hungry. But it's a good idea, isn't it? Let me think about it. I mean, we would have the chance to give people cupcakes. Like when they come to the club. What if we said we had free cupcakes on the flyer? I'm kind of worried that would bring in the wrong kinds of people, What kinds? Wrong kinds? People would just come for cupcakes and then leave. Nobody would do that. That'd be mean. But I want to find people who are really into literature, even if they don't know it yet. Let's see. The next thing on the list is hunt for people reading books. I don't think I get it. Like going around the school and finding people who are reading books, Like in the morning or during lunch. And we tell them to check out the literature club. Well, the problem with that is wouldn't most people reading books just be doing it for an assignment or something? How would we know if they're just reading for fun? Well, we could ask them, but then we'd be bothering people who are trying to do schoolwork. I didn't think about that part. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. You're coming up with a lot more things than I can. Oh, your next idea is to hand out flyers rather than just put them on the wall. I definitely like to start doing that. I'm useful. I never said you weren't. I just need to think what would we tell people when handing them out. I don't want to just be like, join the literature club. Let's figure out how we can better engage people. What if you told them about the club activities and stuff? What club activities? Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be my job to come up with that, right? A vision for the club? Okay, Sayuri, pretend you're a normal person for a second. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. You know, like a random person, a random passerby who's getting a flyer. How would you react to the idea of a literature club? Probably like, literature's stupid. I'm joining the anime club. What the heck? Sorry, I was just thinking of a friend of mine. Okay, what if I said that we like do group reading and discuss it together? I would probably nap through that. That's you, Sayuri. Yeah, but that doesn't really sound fun to most people anyway. We would need to really catch their interest, you know? Ugh, this sucks. Why is it so hard? Monica, don't be sad. What do you like about literature, Sayuri? Me? Well, kind of what I said about the poem earlier. I think it gives you the chance to express yourself. Like, express yourself in ways you can't normally do when you're just doing your normal day and talking to your friends. I mean, we all have so many thoughts and feelings that we just don't get to share, you know? It's like intimate. Yeah. How do we get that across to people? Like, we could be like, express your true self. Be intimate with us. Okay, that's kind of... Just kidding. Oh my gosh. What is it? I forgot all my things in my classroom. I must have gotten too excited and rushed here, silly me. Rushed, but you weren't... Never mind. Did you want to get your stuff then? I'll forget if I don't do it now. Oh well, I'll wait for you then. Okay, it'll only take a second. Sayuri dashes out of the room, leaving Monica momentarily alone. Monica sighs and starts jotting her thoughts on a sheet of paper. Express yourself. Be who you want to be. Oh, this is very interesting. Make new friends. Discover a new you. Discover your heart. No. Write your heart out. No. Write into your heart. Write the way into your heart. Join the literature club. Write the way into your heart. Wow, that's lame. Monica! What? You startled me. Sorry, but it's something important. On the way to the classroom, there was a girl reading a book. Reading a book? Let's hurry and recruit her. Wait, are you sure she's not just doing homework? I could tell she was really into it. Well, I guess we could take a look. Monica grabs one of her flyers and stands up from her desk. And the two depart the classroom with Sayuri leading the way. Is it Yuri? This way. You don't have to run. Sayuri leads Monica to a particular classroom, then lowers her voice to a whisper. See? In there. Monica peers through the window. Sure enough, there's a girl sitting alone, intently reading a book. I feel like a creep doing this. You should go inside and talk to her. Me? You're the president, and I would probably scare her away. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Monica takes a deep breath, then timidly enters the classroom. That was fast. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Wait, what happened? Well, I entered the classroom and she didn't even look up from her book. So I kind of just left the flyer on her desk and then walked out. That's kind of cute. But I'm sure she'll see it and want to join the club. I hope so. Shall we head back now? The two head back to the classroom, Sayuri feeling accomplished and Monica still feeling a bit embarrassed by the encounter. Upon returning, Monica and Sayuri resumed their strategy meeting. They discussed various kinds of recruitment tactics, from professional to silly. After going through Sayuri's list and with Monica coming up with ideas of her own, the two end in a better spot than they were from where they began. Well, I would say today was pretty productive, wasn't it? Yeah. I think we're getting started. I think we're starting to make progress. I can't wait to get some new members. Hey, what's this? Sayuri peers at a sheet of paper Monica was jotting on earlier. Oh, don't mind that. I was just thinking to myself. Join the literature club. Write the way into your heart? That's so cute. I thought it was a little overdramatic. What's the song? Um... What's the song? I'm trying to remember. Every day, just move your hand right the way into his heart. Yeah, that's the lyric. I couldn't think of the lyrics for some reason. But Sayuri pauses and thinks for a moment. You know, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. What? What do you mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like I can tell from talking to you today. It seems like you're always afraid of doing something. Yeah, but would you call yourself a perfectionist? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely am. I mean, I always have been. I have an idea in my head of how I want to do things. Things to do, whatever. And it's like I can't accept anything less than that. But I think in the end it helps me try my hardest at everything. So I don't think it's that bad. Like with this club, we have such an opportunity to make it exactly how we envision it. But it feels like we only have one shot at it. So I'm just really afraid of deviating from that, the vision. What's the vision? It's... Monica pauses to think, then shakes her head to herself. She sighs. I don't know. I just want everyone to... Monica trails off. Smiling, Sayuri taps her finger against the sheet of paper. Right the way into your heart. I think that's what you're trying to do. Is to make the club that you need the most out of anyone. Well, you're the only one who knows yourself best, of course. But I'm here to help you. Monica returns Sayuri's smile. It's sort of amazing how kind you are. We're really gonna make this the best club ever. Sayuri nods and the two remain silent for a moment, lost in thought. The only sound is a steady whisper of the air conditioner. And the only movement is the afternoon sunlight trickling its way in and out of the moving crowds. Sayuri breaks the moment with a big yawn. Time to go home? You tell me, you're the president. In that case, today's meeting is officially over. I look forward to tomorrow. Me too. Sayuri beams and grabs her things. You can go ahead, I still need a few minutes. Oh, I can wait. That's alright, I just want some time alone. In that case, Sayuri waves enthusiastically at Monica. Good luck! Monica smiles and waves in return as Sayuri spins her way out of the room. All alone, she sighs to herself and takes a minute to zone out. She wasn't prepared for the self-reflection encouraged by Sayuri, but she decides it was something she probably needed right about now. The club that I need the most. I don't get it. I just wanted to start a club with more passion. Something that I could use to help lead people to happiness. Literature is the key to that. Because it's the window to the real person inside of us. Underneath the person who's forced to always smile and blend in. The person who's forced to be perfect. Monica suddenly noticed a folder by the floor by her desk. Did Sayuri leave this behind? I hope it doesn't have her homework in it. Worried, Monica opens the folder to check. Poems. It's a folder of poems. We got a new poem! Become the flower. A feeling of joy is a flower plucked from the ground. The color, the scent, it's so pretty in my hair. Every day I pluck some flowers as though they grow just for me. A lifetime of peace and nourishment, yanked away in an instant. All for me, all for joy. I need more. I need more joy. I need more happy. Pluck, pluck, pluck every day. Pluck, 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 so pretty in my hair. Pluck, 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 you're going to die and you too. Huh. Beneath my feet, a flower stands alone. It beckons to me. I twist the stem, freeing it from its clinging roots, caressing the final joyous moments between my fingers. But to what ends? I look in every direction, and the field I stand in, the prosperous field, is a barren wasteland. The fruits of my labor, the carnage of my joy, and that is why I've decided I must become the flower. Interesting. So this is a Sayuri poem talking about the flower. As though the flower provides happiness, but rather than plucking the flower and getting happiness, she wants to be like happy. The happiness. What the? Wait, Sayuri? Probably noticed, you know, her being upset. Okay, hold up, hold the phone. We got some. Okay, so we got side story. This part 2. We'll get to that sometime. But we got new mail. We got some new mail. This is the day before the side story stuff. We got character discrepancy from Lib Moosey. Lib Moosey, L Moosey at mes.local. Untitled mail group, do not use. Saturday, December 7th, 2019 at 12:06 a.m. Having run the control simulation for a while, it's evident that a certain character is missing from any mention or appearance. This makes me speculate that Monica's meddling is less clumsy than we think, because she would have had to manufacture the character herself as a way of forcing interaction between her and the user. Could that be why the character has such limited and dissonant personality traits? Or am I reading too much into this? I'll open an issue to start tracking info and observe on the anomaly of this character appearing. So, is this certain character like MC Kun, main character Kun, is missing from any mention or appearance? This makes me speculate that Monica's meddling is less clumsy than we think, because she would have had to manufacture this character herself as a way of forcing interaction between her and the user. So, oh, or maybe she's talking about Sayuri, right? Because she doesn't want, because she wants to interact with us, the user. Could this be why character has such limited and dissonant personality traits? What does dissonant mean? Hold on, I gotta Google some stuff. So is it cognitive dissonance? No. Dissonant. The definition of dissonant is disagreeing or harsh in sound. Used to describe a harsh noise or inharmonious. I wonder if that, yeah, I think you might be talking about Sayuri. Okay. So we got that. So we're getting mail as we do the side stories, which is really, really cool. Pictures. We got a Sayuri, finished side story trust 1. And we got a finished side story trust 1, okay. Why does this keep popping back up? See, look at these things. Okay, take my hand. Okay, that's a new one. Become the Flowers, a new one as well. The Dan Salvato one keeps popping up. On this one as well. All the Sayuri ones keep popping up. And the Secret Poems. I don't like that. Okay, so we got a new one. This is a literature club, soft lit by the morning sun, as opposed to the daytime. These are, I had this, wait, is this new? Provide an email communication. A rough sketch of what the faceless protagonist might have looked like if he was a real character. Okay, looks pretty average to me. Provided in an email communication. Provided in email communication. Is that what this email was? Wait, I got another email. What the fuck? OMG, so this is the day before. Okay, who's responsible for creating... Okay, Love It Laster. Why is it all 12:06 a.m.? Is that weird? Is that weird to you? Everything is coming in at 12:06. There's... Look, 12:06. 12:06. Everything is coming in at 12:06. That is strange to me. Okay. Okay, who's responsible for creating a Twitter account for Monica? I think it's hilarious, but for God's sake, please don't tell Paula. Haha. I would get 404'd in a microsecond. I wonder if that's a file number. What if it's 404? I mean, that makes sense, right? Like a 404 file not found. What if we do 1206 and then 404? Are you just relaying tweets manually, or did you code some kind of pass-through layer to automate it? Based on the contents of the tweets, example not screaming for help, I assume they're coming from the controlled simulation? Yeah. Character discrepancy. I wish we knew which email it came from. Okay, so we did also get new music, which... Wow, we got a few. File 6 is still... that. Is this the new one? My confession? Oh no, it's not it. I think it's this one. Peachy Pie, your song, your note? Yeah. Okay. So we are getting some songs. We have 19 so far, which is pretty cool. I think we're gonna go into... We'll finish this one as well. Just to get it like done and get the trust part. I guess this trust story. So yeah, I'll get this one done. We'll begin this one. Another day passes in a flash, and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monica should have come up with a plan for today's club task, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety about reading Sayuri's poem. I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be the center of attention? Sayuri's going through these kinds of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of the other way around. What kind of club president does that? This whole time, I didn't think to ask about her own feelings. So much for stupid vision. Sayuri enters the classroom with her usual smile, but upon seeing the downcast Monica, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monica? Is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monica shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me that I'm trying to make this club the club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayuri responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through the silence, Sayuri mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monica stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. And now you're worrying about me. I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayuri nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you're here for me. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday, it was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You don't need to do this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I like happy. So, if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Monica massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's understandable that Sayuri isn't ready to share certain things, but as unfair as it is for Monica to pry, it's also painful for Monica to force herself to ignore the needs of her friends. I'm sorry I looked. I just respected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah. Monica takes a deep breath. Okay. I understand that you don't want me to worry. And I think I'll be able to put this aside so that we can move on. But can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monica pauses to collect her thoughts. This is the Literature Club. It's a place where people can express themselves in ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, that's our vision. Write the way into your heart, or whatever. So, I just want you to promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want it to be here. I want to be here for you when you need it. I want us to be ourselves like that. Sayuri smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monica returns Sayuri's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine, we have plenty of time for that. But right now I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know? There's no way I could say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. That's fine. I think I just need some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. starting isn't so hard. You know, you kind of just need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're gonna have to fight your perfectionist mind on this one. You can't just start writing, you can't just start by writing your feelings or you can just start writing your feelings and see what kinds of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. It's not like building a railroad where you go from one end to the other. It's more like a collage where you find all the things you want to put in and then you arrange them in a pretty way. At least that's not how I do it. It's not like it's the only way, but it's a really good way to not get stuck right at the beginning. I understand. That is actually a pretty, like, really good advice in terms of not just writing a poem, but like any kind of project. You know, just put everything, write down anything you want. Of like let's say you like, I want to make music or I want to make a video or something like that, and that's how you like do it, right? 1 second. That's like a good way to do it, right? Where you can just like put down all your ideas, like, you know, like for something, and then you can just kind of fix it up later. That way you're not stuck like in the beginning. That's such a good advice. Gosh, the Salvato team in this writing, man. Monica pulls out a pen and paper to start writing on. Stop being a perfectionist. You idiot. I'm just kidding. Monica scribbles out, you idiot, after she writes it down. No, keep it. Why? Are you calling me an idiot? Of course not. But the point is that you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want. But that was just, well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monica rewrites, you idiot. She stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her. It's kind of funny how I wrote down what I was mad at myself for, and then I did the exact thing anyway. This is really going to take some time getting used to. So I'm getting used to. I believe in you. Thanks. I do too. I mean. But also you, of course. Monica continues the exercise, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without overthinking it. But after a while, with Sayuri's guidance and encouragement, Monica's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all of her random thoughts. Phew. Monica looks up and down at her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it. But it's also kind of liberating. I can tell how hard you are trying. It makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems. Haha, don't give me too much credit. I have to try really, really hard at it. But I think it's something that I'll enjoy doing. With you. Sayuri beams. I'll stop here, but we still have time. Let's try to work on a new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language. Yay, let's do it. Monica and Sayuri proceed with their work. With each passing day, the two of them become more and more confident in the club. Not simply from their recruitment planning, but from their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the literature club. Finally, they begin to truly feel it's only a matter of time before they find more members. Yay. Another day passes. As usual, Monica is the first one to the club room. With her is a printout of the revised literature club flyer, complete with all the new ideas Monica and Sayuri came up with. If only this was the flyer we gave out that one reading girl the other day. So much more attractive than the old one. But the new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Right the way into your heart. Surely common sense would say that one writes from the heart, not into the heart. But the message being delivered is that one can use writing to discover themselves. Hopefully Monica and Sayuri had thought that it would be enough to garner some interest or curiosity from students. Why do I feel so tense looking at this? Monica thinks back to the previous meeting when she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be present if I can't even demonstrate what the club is supposed to be about? The literature club is truly beginning to take form. But with that, the weight on Monica's shoulders only become heavier. Debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monica was so good at it. It only existed within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need a break through this mental wall. I need to learn to express myself for real. Monica pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects from the tip of her pen. The ink flows down into a dark puddle. Monica lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her fingers across it. And as she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monica's canvas. Ugh. Out of spite for herself, Monica presses her pen down once again, letting the ink collect. She creates a second smear on the paper. Come on, Monica, move your hand. Monica writes. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. We got another poem! We got a Monica poem this time around. This is very... I love this, like, insight into Monica. Monica slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on the desk. The air conditioner seems louder today. I'm here. Hi. Monica hears Sayuri approach her desk, then stops for a second, probably reading the piece of paper. Then she sits down at the adjacent desk. Bad day? Mm-hmm. It's okay, Monica. Me too. Oh, we're both having a bad day. You too. The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so hard on the club, but also something else, I think. Oh, sorry. What did she say? I can't do it. Okay, that's what she said. I'm sorry. It's so hard to just be vulnerable. Sayuri takes the sheet of paper from Monica's desk. She writes something down, then stares at it for a while. Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything. Sayuri gazes at Monica with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monica takes the paper from Sayuri's desk and reads it. Sometimes I want to die. Oh, it's so sad. Sayuri, this is really, really hard for me. Her voice shakes. So if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like a million times better than me. That's completely not true. Sayuri takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. It's something about me I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head is like screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday, I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to this club in the first place. Aww. This is the literature club. I trust you more than I'm scared. At those words, Monica stands up. Sayuri must have taken days to work up the courage for this. When Monica's own futile but genuine efforts actually the push that Sayuri needed, Sayuri's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monica waits in gentle silence. I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry too much about me. I can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can just be happy instead? So I never tell anyone about these kinds of thoughts I have. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy. So again, going back to Sayuri's poem about opening her scalp like a bottle and giving people happiness instead of keeping some for herself makes, you know, even more sense. Like as you learn more about her backstory. So it's very interesting and kind of sad almost, learning about Sayuri's inner self, her true self, I guess. Very interesting. Getting a little teary-eyed just reading through all this. But that's terrible. That's what Monica wants to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing. If It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. Like, whenever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask me what's wrong. I know that because it used to be like that. Sayuri pauses, seeming to recall something in the past. I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone. Sayuri pauses again, her solemn expression making her almost like an entirely different person. How did you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried that I'll be one of those people too? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this. But another part of me, I think, just felt like it would be different this time. Whenever we talk about the club is what the club is supposed to mean, I kept feeling like it was right for me to do. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself too. It just made me feel like I could say it in confidence, and our friendship doesn't have to change. It's so silly. The club is only 2 people, but it already means this much to me. Oh, Monica feels a tightened sensation in her heart. A feeling of connection as Sayuri's emotion radiate between them. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayuri. You're so strong and brave. I don't even compare. Monica steps forward. But if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy. If you'd like. Oh, this makes me so emotional. God! Wordlessly and without a smile, Sayuri rests her forehead on Monica's shoulder. She's been through so much in her head, and having somebody to open up to must feel like such a relief for Sayuri. Through her contact, Monica can almost feel the torrent of thoughts swimming in Sayuri's head. And in this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monica realizes that all the days that have passed, this is the one where she really, really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You can say anything, I'll never judge you. I promise. Sayuri's breath begins to quiver. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to start speaking, to say the things she never once dared to say aloud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless and everyone would be better off without me. She suppresses a sob as a tear falls down her cheek. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. I'm not good at anything and it just feels like everyone just has to put up with me. And I hate it. I hate it. The more Sayuri speaks, the more she fails to control her voice, falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching at her throat and chest. I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away. And now I'm making you put up with me. I just want to die. As soon as Sayuri loses her composure, Monica becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayuri needs right now. So, she won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through as soft and gentle. This isn't putting up with you. It's just me being your friend. It's just being your friend. I can't read. Holy crap. Monica offers a few words of comfort. But she knows Sayuri said it herself, that she thought Sayuri experiences are ones that don't belong, and Monica can't magically make them go away. But she enhances them in the main story? Oh, Monica, what happened to you? The most she can do is help Sayuri battle them, like any good friend would do. You have so much value. To me, you and your other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really, really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could have ever happened. Even if we never got any other members, I would still be happy. That's what brought you here. You brought us a vision, and you also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayuri doesn't respond, but Monica feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them. Aww. The two share their embrace for a while longer, Monica letting Sayuri take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully escape, Sayuri lifts her head and wipes her eyes. I guess I need it then. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me, but any other time I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are, if that's what makes you happy. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. You know, I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional? Sayuri nods. It's scary, since it's already hard to tell people. Yeah. Well, of course it will always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I can do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayuri suddenly yawns and stretches. Wow, that made me tired. And hungry. Yeah. Well, I won't make you do any work today if you're not up for it. Nope, I want to. I mean, I can say that it's definitely one thing that makes me happy. Monika smiles. But I might want to go get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of the door causes them to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. Ah! Alright, so that is the end of Trust. I really like that. That was it was so interesting seeing, you know, Sayuri's, like, what she's been going through. But it's so strange though that these side stories are not, what did it say? The side stories are not related to the main events of the game. So if this is like a different universe or something where, you know, Monika and Sayuri, or Monika doesn't change Sayuri and makes her, like, you know, I mean, this is obviously before the game, but I'm sorry, it's just so weird how that dynamic between Monika and Sayuri like that, but then she ends up doing that to her, forcing her to kill herself. Hello, Mrs. Gamer. Hey, Curry Maker, how's it going? Holy crap, that almost, like, I almost cried. I wanted to, like, cry, but I'm like, no, I will not cry. I will not cry. It's just very sad to read that. But we do have some new pictures. We have this one, a scene from the side story Trust, which is, I really like that image. It was very heartwarming. We got some poems as well, didn't we? I thought we had, like, the ink blot ones. No? I guess that doesn't really... No ink blot? Would that be like a secret poem? Can you hear me? Yeah, no. No secret poem image. Strangely enough. Okay. And then we also got some new music too. So we have 20 songs, but I don't know. Wait, okay, so Hug Energy. That one. That was the one that we got.